Y'all, we have some breaking news. Today, Donald Trump signed not one, but two major executive orders that are already making waves. First, he's ordered that the Department of Defense to be rebranded the Department of War. Trump's directive tells all executive agencies to start using Department of War immediately, even though Congress is the only body that can make the name official. His Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, now has the job of lobbying lawmakers to enshrine it into law. Here's why this matters. America dropped the War Department label back in 1948 after World War II when the Pentagon wanted to emphasize defense rather than aggression in the early Cold War. The name change wasn't just cosmetic, it's about optics. Presidents from Harry Truman to Dwight Eisenhower wanted the U.S. seen as a stabilizing force, not a permanent war machine. Now, Trump is undoing 75 years of that framing with a stroke of a pen. And this isn't unprecedented for him. Remember, Trump has long embraced military pageantry, floating ideas like massive parades down Pennsylvania Avenue and surrounding himself with generals early in his presidency. But he's also shown deep skepticism toward traditional Pentagon bureaucracy, famously clashing with defense secretaries and mocking the deep state inside the military. By bringing back the Department of War label, he's saying the quiet part out loud. America isn't just about defense, it's about dominance. That will absolutely be noticed by allies in NATO and adversaries in places like Beijing and Moscow. The second executive order is a new designation called State Sponsor of Wrongful Detention. It allows the U.S. to sanction governments that unlawfully detain American citizens abroad. Think about countries like Russia, Iran, or Venezuela, places where journalists, business people, or even tourists have been used as political bargaining chips. This is modeled after the older State Sponsor of Terrorism label, which has been one of the harshest U.S. diplomatic tools since the 1970s. So on paper, this looks tough, but historically, these designations can be a double-edged sword. Sanctioning regimes often makes it harder, not easier, to negotiate for Americans' release. For example, in the Cold War, the U.S. sanctions against Cuba and Iran hardened those government positions instead of softening them. So while Trump's move signals zero tolerance, critics warn that it could also backfire if countries decide to dig in their heels. So in just one afternoon, Trump managed to rewrite the Pentagon's identity and expand American sanctions playbook. The historical irony is sharp, though. Presidents once softened America's image to prevent endless wars, and now Trump is reviving language that normalizes them. The real question is, does this strengthen U.S. power, or does it lock us into an era where war isn't just policy, it's branding?